It's the ultimate travel guide from the people who know it best. Weekends with Yankee. Back in the test kitchen, Amy cooks up some delicious fall beets, topped with rounds of crispy goat cheese.
We had such a great day at Allison Hooper's farm and home up in Vermont. And eating the goat cheese and seeing the goats, which are so cute, made me want to think about a hearty fall salad. So I started with some beets. They are unpeeled. But when I trimmed them, I saved the leaves. Look at these gorgeous leaves. This is from golden beets. They have the yellow stems. This is from red beets. They have the red stems. So I'm going to take my beets and I'm just going to roast them in foil. So I put each beet in a foil. And I'm gonna roast them at 400 degrees for 30 to 40 minutes. So these are ready to go in the oven. They're just gonna roast while I prepare the rest of the salad. So now that the beets are roasting, I'm going to prepare my goat cheese. So we just take a piece of goat cheese and I just squeeze them out into little discs. It doesn't have to be perfect. And these we will coat with breadcrumbs and fry them up a little bit. So now these are gonna go into the freezer for 15 minutes and up to an hour. I have 3 kinds of greens that are going to form the base of this salad. I've got baby spinach, which is easy to find in any supermarket, and that's going to go into my big bowl. Meanwhile, the beet leaves can be a little bit tougher and they have a stronger flavor, which is why I like to mix them with the baby spinach. I want to cut them into very thin strips so that they're nice and tender. So I'm going to do a cut called a chiffonade, which means rolling the beets up like this. You can see I stack the leaves, and now I'm going to just very thinly slice them across. So this will eliminate any of the tougher stems from really registering in your mouth as tough. Look how gorgeous that is against the spinach, just these little pops of color. So I'm gonna do that same cut with my mint leaves. So I've stacked them. I'm gonna roll them up, and then I'm just gonna cut across. Okay, I love this. Now, I've saved a few very pretty little baby beet greens that I found among my bunch. And now I'm going to get my ingredients for my vinaigrette. So this vinaigrette has just 6 ingredients, and I'm going to start with the juice of 1 orange, pouring it into a jar, because I really like to make vinaigrettes in a jar. I just pour everything in here together and shake it up. You get a perfectly emulsified vinaigrette with a lot less fuss. And then I've got 1.5 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. This adds a little more acidity than the orange juice has naturally. I've got 1 medium shallot that I've minced, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper, and 1/4 cup of olive oil. This is extra virgin olive oil. Okay, so I'm gonna put it in the jar, tighten the lid, and give it a nice shake like I'm making a cocktail. Okay, now that looks great. It's really nicely blended and emulsified. I'm gonna take the beets out of the oven because they're tender and ready to go now. I'm gonna let them cool for a minute. Okay, so my dressing has had a chance to sit and the flavors have had a chance to combine, so I'm ready to dress the greens. Just gonna pour that over. Okay, so I'm just gonna toss them together. That looks really pretty. And now that that's done, it's time to slice the beets. So I want to show you a really easy trick for getting the skin off a roasted beet. You take your beet and you take 2 paper towels, and using them, you rub the skin right off. It comes off so easily. And I've done the other ones, as you can see from my red fingertips. Let's start with this one. I'm just going to cut it in half and then cut half moons like this. I like the kind of variations in size and color and texture that you find in this salad. So let's make those yummy goat cheese crispy discs. Okay, so I have these nice chilled little pucks of goat cheese. I'm going to bread them with panko breadcrumbs by first dipping them in some egg whites. This is 3 egg whites that I've just kind of beaten to make them a little bit looser. And now I drop it into the panko and spread it over. I like panko because it's a little bit crisper than regular breadcrumbs. Now, if you've ever been to a French bistro, you've probably seen a salad a little bit like this with the goat cheese crisps. So I'm going to put it in the oil. It's at about 375 degrees, which is the ideal frying temperature. And you really only need about 30 seconds, 15 to 30 seconds per side. It looks golden brown and delicious. Do you see that pretty crust? I love that. That looks great. So we'll take this off to the side, let it drain. Okay, now I've got all 6 of my crispy goat cheese pucks here. So I'm gonna start with a small bed of greens. This is not a green heavy salad. This serves 4 people, so you just want a small bed there. You want a lot of beets on this salad because that's really the heart of it. I love these colors. I love that there's beautiful fall foliage outside and there's beautiful golden and red colors on my plate. There we go, very pretty. And then I take 1 disc of goat cheese and garnish with a couple of pretty little leaves. Now look how pretty that is. That's like a fall foliage scene right in your bowl. So let me go take a taste. Now I can cut through the little shell, take a little piece of beet, which is so nice and sweet. Crunchy and creamy. You have sweet and tangy. You have the cooling mint and the warm goat cheese. It's just such a nice balanced salad. So for this recipe or any of the other delicious recipes we make here on the show, you can go to weekendswithyankee.com.